Bring in Sheriff Cleveland of Terrell County, Texas, and retired Border Patrol agent. Sheriff, thank you very much for being here. What changes have you already seen since this administration took office?
Hey, good afternoon, Susan. It's great to be back on with you. And first, if I could, I just want to say, my thoughts and prayers are with my brothers and sisters in Green. I served 26 years in the Border Patrol and had a partner killed in the line of duty there in Nogales, Arizona. But to get to your question, look, I just got off a teleconference here in Big Bend Border Patrol sector with the Joint Operations Intelligence Center that's ran by the Department of Public Safety. And they said border-wide apprehensions are down. We knew that was going to happen. Look, President Trump has let it be known that since day one when he was elected and during his campaign that he was going to put more focus on the border and get it back under control. And we will certainly see that. I can guarantee those words.
All right. So as far as the crackdown at the border, I mean, how much time do you think this is going to take? What are you seeing as far as resources? We know this is going to have to be a massive effort.
First and foremost, it takes a strong leader in the White House letting the rest of the world know you're not coming to our country illegally. Well, we still have people come, of course. But then it's to bring the rule of law to the border, having consequences. If people cross, they're either going to be detained or they're going to be sent back to Mexico under expedited removal, or they're going to be given a notice to appear and kept in custody. So there's different consequences, different options that the U.S. Border Patrol has to have as a consequence along the U.S.-Mexico border. We've heard talk about U.S. Department of Defense coming to the border. Back in 2019 and 20, President Trump put active duty soldiers on the border, 1,500 of them. I was Border Patrol's representative to U.S. Army North, and they work directly under NORTHCOM, and they're the ones that put the plan into action. So we will see that again. It's nothing new, and I anticipate probably seeing some of that activity starting up here pretty quick.
Really interesting. All right, this was Tom Homan this morning on the progress that he's reporting has happened so far at the border in just a couple days.
The last 24 hours, total apprehensions on the southwest border, 766. Compare that to the 10 to 12,000 Biden had at one time. CBP-1 releases, 0. CHNV, Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, Venezuela releases, 0. Total of 766 across the entire southwest border. That is a game changer. All
right, so that's the progress made so far. But Thad, I want to ask you about this. The Pentagon planning for bigger U.S. troop role at the border. U.S. Northern Command, responsible for military operations in North America, was given a month to craft a plan to combat unlawful mass migration, narcotics trafficking, human smuggling, gang trafficking, and other criminal activities. The president specified that it should seal the U.S.-Mexico border and repel forms of invasion. So do you see a much bigger role for troops at the border?
So, Sandra, again, that's very similar to what we did back in 2019 and 2020. What will happen is the Department of Homeland Security will send over what's called an RFA, a request for assistance, and detail what they need. At that point, the Department of Defense and U.S. Army North, which is located out of San Antonio, Texas, at Fort Sam Houston, they'll take those plans. They'll have their liaison there, their Border Patrol agent that worked with them as I did, and then they'll start to work and see how they shape this up. But what we won't see at this time is an enforcement effort by the Department of Defense. And the reason that is because of what's called posse comitatus, back under the Treaty of Hidalgo that the United States had with Mexico. We vowed we wouldn't militarize our border. But what we will see is military helping us in support roles, not actually getting out there and enforcing the law, in support roles such as observe and report. Even under the last administration the last President Trump, we had what was called a QRT team, quick reaction team. Yeah. And they were established and able to fly anywhere across the United States-Mexico border to provide a response if there was a need.
Sheriff, I've got to leave it there. But is it fair to say you feel optimistic about the changes so far and what's coming?
100%. It's going to be good. And it all starts at the border. I tell you what.
So much, yeah.
And we know it. We know it.
All right. We will check back with you on all of that. We appreciate you coming on. Thank you very much, Sheriff.